soul by soul, to all the world, to every nation, one by one, and soul by soul, to all the world.
Welcome to Philadelphia, one of the most historic cities in the United States. We're in front of Hope Worldwide's medical clinic in North Philadelphia. In this special edition, we honor Hope Worldwide and all of you for 10 years of service to the poor and needy all over the world.
Inspired by Christ's example, the world sector leaders Bob and Pat Gempel are the true heroes of hope. They have led Hope Worldwide from just 3 programs in 3 countries to an international organization with programs in over 100 countries. Last year, Hope Worldwide held a special 10th anniversary celebration right here in Philadelphia. Disciples received Heart of Hope Awards, and 4 great friends received the Hands of Hope Awards for devoting their time, energy, and resources to sustain the mission of Hope Worldwide.
Welcome everyone to Hope Worldwide's 10th anniversary celebration and Hands for Hope Award ceremony.
Tonight we're here to celebrate together. We're here to celebrate what God has done worldwide, what some very special people have done worldwide, and what you, 3,000 of our 100,000 volunteers, have accomplished around the world.
For those of us who are close to this organization, whether volunteers, staff, or supporters, and who have witnessed what has happened in just 1 decade, we can come to only one conclusion: miracles do happen.
We are here at the corporate office of Hope Worldwide. People often ask, what is the relationship between Hope Worldwide and the church? Pat Gempel often says, without the church, there is no hope. Without Jesus, there is no eternal hope for a lost world. To understand the purpose of Hope Worldwide, we need to understand God's heart toward the poor and needy. Jesus fed 5,000 people at one time. He honored children and ministered to a sinful world. His ministry showed the heart of God by serving those in need. In James chapter 1, verse 27, the Bible teaches, religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 31 says, he who oppresses the poor shows contempt for their Maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. At the 1987 Boston World Mission Seminar, World Sector leader Doug Arthur challenged the disciples to love the poor in his message entitled, I Was Hungry. In 1991, the Holy Spirit inspired the World Sector leaders to ask Bob and Pat Gempel to launch Hope Worldwide, a global organization focused on showing the heart of Jesus by serving the poor and needy. At that time, Hope had only 3 programs.
Hope Worldwide is a faith-based charity. God has blessed them to become one of the 400 largest nonprofit charities in the United States. Hope's full-time staff is composed entirely of disciples, many of which are key leaders in God's kingdom. The heart of Hope Worldwide is its well-known volunteer base, 100,000 dedicated, cheerful volunteers. Most are disciples from all around the world.
We're in North Philadelphia at ODAAT. a drug rehabilitation program that has been partnered with Hope Worldwide since 1991. In 1995, the director of ODAAT, the Rev, and his wife Margaret were baptized into Christ. Groups like these are why ODAAT is one of the most successful drug and alcohol recovery programs in the country. Through programs and partnerships like the one here at ODAAT, Hope Worldwide's mission is to bring hope to a hurting world. The best way to understand their vast impact is through 5 major program areas: education, health, children's programs, seniors, and global outreach. Hope Worldwide educates disadvantaged adults and children all over the world. They have schools in third world countries and inner cities that teach people skills to earn a living. Their programs also help people develop their characters through sports and mentoring programs.
Hope has helped to re-energize me. As a teacher in an urban inner city school, very often you feel down because you're wondering, can somebody help? We can't do this by ourselves. Do people understand? Then to see all of you come today to support our school and our families, then they're re-energized. And I want everyone to know how effective it is.
Hope Worldwide provides high-quality health care and health education in poor or underserved areas of the world. From India to Africa to Cambodia, Hope Worldwide has a strong network of professional disciples and trained volunteers to provide medical care and teach local communities how to live a healthy life.
I believe in a place called home, a place of perfect peace for every heart and soul.
Dr. Mark Ottenweller began the AIDS clinic in Africa, not only teaching how to prevent the spread of AIDS, but also serving adults and children infected with the HIV virus.
Millions of children around the world are in foster homes, orphanages, or on the street. Hope Worldwide owns orphanages in New Delhi, India, and Jakarta, Indonesia. They also partner with orphanages in Cambodia, China, Romania, Russia, and the Ukraine. Under the banner of Hope for Children, Hope Worldwide provides orphaned and abandoned children with family counseling, adoption, small group homes, and mentoring relationships. Hundreds of children worldwide have been adopted into loving homes.
Nations all over the world are struggling to figure how to care for the increasing number of elderly people in their countries. Hope Worldwide meets this challenge by supporting the elderly through friendship, services, and volunteer opportunities. In China, Germany, Russia, and through global outreach, our programs are restoring hope to the lonely.
Celebrate the volunteer with hours late with sweat and tears. Strives to make a difference here.
Hope Worldwide trains volunteers around the world to fulfill the needs of all its program areas. Education efforts focus on the prevention of HIV and AIDS, leprosy, tuberculosis, smoking, and childhood diseases. Volunteers also participate in computer training, literacy, and public health, while programs for orphaned children and the elderly address companionship and care for the lonely and abandoned.
People helping people, it's the way things ought to be. Spreading the hope we have around us, building a peace and harmony. It's people helping people, it's the way things ought to be. Come on and join us in the chorus, giving our love to those around us, spreading hope. Oh.
The world has noticed these dynamic programs. Hope Worldwide is registered with the United States Agency for International Development, as well as been granted special consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations.
In 1992, Hope opened this medical clinic in North Philadelphia to provide primary health care for the people of ODAAT, as well as the poor and underinsured of North Philadelphia.
I think the Hope Clinic here is definitely different than other clinics in that we provide excellent health care, but do it with compassion regardless of people's ability to pay, which really makes us different than other health clinics.
The Hope Clinic program has been here. Actually, this year is going to be our 10-year anniversary here at the clinic. We do have a lot of first world expenses and our third world problems. In North Philadelphia, we have a high infant death mortality rate. Lead poisoning is prevalent. A lot of our children are under-immunized. We see a lot of drug and alcohol addiction. We see a lot of HIV, a lot of hepatitis C. But God has really been with us. It's been gracious for us to be here, to be open, and to really meet the needs of the people here in North Philadelphia.
The disciples serving in Hope are using their talents to show the world the love of God. Countless numbers of people have been helped through Hope Worldwide, but their serving is about individual lives who are forever changed. In 1996, Hope Worldwide opened the Sihanouk Hospital Center of Hope, a hospital that provides free medical care to thousands in a country devastated by a history of war and poverty. Dr. Graham Ogle started the work, which was later built on by Dr. Cameron Gifford. Dr. Graham Gumley now serves as the director of this hospital. He was one of the top hand surgeons in the United States. Graham left a successful surgical practice and prominence as clinical assistant professor at Boston University. It was a family decision to leave many of the comforts of America to move to Cambodia.
The hospital has been built on tremendous faith and teamwork. Cambodia lost 2 generations of educated and professional people during the Khmer Rouge genocide. So our mission is to train professional medical staff with the best medical practices and compassionate health care so they in turn can teach others. It was a challenge for us to put our house on the market while we saw smoke still rising from Phnom Penh. But we thought of the disciples here who were so eager to learn and to provide a different future for the poor and the needy, and change medical history for their country. So many hospital staff have grasped Jesus' heart of compassion and healing and become disciples.
It is such a joy to work with 120 disciples, almost half the hospital staff, and what a strength they are to building the church and rebuilding trust, character, love, and family. Every day, compassionate care is given to 275 patients, most of whom are so poor they have no other access to medical services. And the church has provided strength and faith and teaching to support the demanding work of such an impoverished and malnourished population. We're a team. We work together, we play together, and we pray together. And God is doing miracles every day. There are restrictions, but our kids are thriving. They've had a broad cultural experience at an international school. They've seen the faith and perseverance of disciples who have so little and yet are so grateful to learn and joyful to serve. We're so thankful for your prayers and financial support. There are 60 teens in the teen group and already 32 are disciples. My heart hurts to see so much suffering every day. A 64-year-old man said to me recently, "In my town, you get better or you die." My broken leg was open for 6 months. I never was able to visit a doctor until I came here.
You know, we're eagerly looking for disciples with 3 to 5 years of nursing experience to spend a year here and to share your skills and knowledge. We're also looking for an orthopedic surgeon to come for 6 to 12 months as well. It's a great experience and one you will treasure. In February of 2001, we had the Health Corps here with 160 medical professionals working beside our Cambodian staff. Everybody shared how much their faith grew. The Hope Health Corps this year is a great place for professional fellowship and encouragement. And this year it's in Los Angeles on May the 24th to the 27th.
We need to understand how amazing it is for the Gumley family to have left Graham's medical practice in Boston to serve in Cambodia. The Gumleys took a 90% pay cut when they moved. And Graham is such a talented surgeon that in Baltimore of last year, he was asked to present the prestigious Founders Lecture at the annual meeting of the American Society for Surgery of the Hand. Graham challenged an audience of about 2,000 hand surgeons about the great needs in developing countries like Cambodia. Doctors considered his speech to be one of the highlights of the entire conference. The doctors were so moved by Graham's convictions that the Society of Hand staff unanimously decided to take their money for holiday gifts and send it to the Sihanouk Hospital Center of Hope in Cambodia. Graham exemplifies the heart of Christ to even the most prestigious doctors in his field.
India is the second most populated country in the world with nearly 1 billion people. Over 95% of the people earn less than $200 per month. This incredible poverty leads to lack of adequate food, clothing, shelter, and medical care for even the most easily curable diseases. Padma Venkatraman, daughter of a former president of India, forged a partnership with the government and Hope Worldwide to build the Village of Hope in the city of New Delhi. The village was so revolutionary in helping the poor that the opening was attended by government officials and movie stars. Since its beginning in 1993, the Village of Hope now houses 3,500 people. How do we know the Village of Hope is making a difference? The answer is obvious in the lives that have been changed just by meeting their basic needs. Just knowing that people care helps people develop a sense of dignity and personal responsibility. Within the Village of Hope, there are schools, youth clubs, and even computer centers where the children of leprosy patients can learn skills so they can earn a living for their entire family. Hope Worldwide has also helped people to open shops where they can earn money and create jobs. As incredible as all this work is, it is merely a small part compared to the work that needs to be done. Ian Correa is a disciple who was cured of leprosy as a child.
He's waiting for a house. Some of his friends have gotten houses. So he's wondering why, when they have got houses, despite his name being on the list, why he's not got a house. So he's hoping, and he says he's praying that he'll be able to get a house. All it takes to build a house, to support a family, and to get them to stand on their own feet is $2,500 US.
The ultimate testimony of change is when one individual who has been helped reaches out to help another.
This is really amazing. These are some children of leprosy patients, and they want to help the earthquake victims in Ahmedabad. Like when I first came here, they had so many needs themselves, so it was challenging for them to get to a position where they could think about others' needs. But now, as a result of the houses and a lot of other development in the colony, they're at a point where, because their basic needs are met, they're able to consider meeting the needs of others.
It is amazing how giving people a sense of personal responsibility through providing education, employment, love, and care can change lives. 90% of the residents who were formerly beggars are now earning their own living.
The tragedy of September 11, 2001 will stay with us forever. For many Americans, this was our first time experiencing this type of attack. The people of Afghanistan have suffered more than 23 years of war and conflict. The cities are littered with bombed-out buildings, poverty, water shortage, and illnesses. In the recent war against the Taliban, the need for adequate medical care is greater than ever. This 75-year-old woman has not stopped coughing for years. Because of the cold, the poverty, and the dust from the bombings, thousands suffer from lack of food and respiratory diseases like pneumonia and asthma. Dr. Mark and Vicki Timlin are disciples from England. They lead the Hope Worldwide effort in Afghanistan. Mark has served in the hospital and 3 mother and child clinics in Afghanistan operated by the Ministry of Public Health. In the wake of September 11th, they crossed the border to Pakistan, where Mark served at a medical clinic in the town of Peshawar, where they treated more than 5,000 Afghan refugees. The Timlins have served in Kabul tirelessly. Even though there's no heat, reliable electricity, or running water, patients are so desperate that they wait for hours in the cold to receive care. Despite the great need for medical care, one of the few intact hospitals on the west side of Kabul is about to be closed down and rented to richer clients. The Timlins and Hope Worldwide have been asked to start a new hospital, and the British government has donated $54,000 to fund it. Mark and Vicki are turning a bombed-out building into a working hospital.
When you give people directions in the hospital, you say, oh, it's the second right after the burnt-out bus. But you've got to have a vision one day, or in 2.5 months, this will be an active hospital with patients coming in.
The Timlins have laid down their lives for the poor. Despite the overwhelming odds, Mark and Vicki are internationally recognized for their efforts in giving hope to a hurting world torn apart by war and poverty. Shawn and Lena Wooten are geographic hope leaders for the Northern Federation World Sector. Since Hope Worldwide Russia started in 1991, they've started several key programs to help the poor.
Today there are local soup kitchens that provide more than 400 elderly people with food and clothing. Perhaps their most moving programs, though, are the ones that help the orphans. In some parts of Moscow, many of the children are orphans or their parents can't take care of them. There is a 60% failure rate with these kids. Sadly, without training, 60% of the girls will turn to a life of prostitution. Just as many boys would end up in jail, homeless, or committing suicide. Shawn and Lena have led Hope Worldwide to give hundreds of children a new chance to live.
We built a city inside the orphanage to help the kids to learn what life's going to be like. In an orphanage, there's a lot of things the kids never learn. They never learn how to make food. They don't know how to make a lot of decisions. So we built a little city where the kids would be able to have a job, and they earn play money that they can spend in the store. We have a bank, we have a restaurant, we have a clothing design store. And the kids here, they learn extra education. They also build great relationships so that they can do better when they graduate. And it's been awesome because all the kids that have graduated from the City of Hope, they've all gotten into college. So that's really exciting that we haven't lost a single kid, and they're all doing great right now. So we're excited about the support from the U.S. and everyone that allows us to continue to work here and try and help the kids.
The Moscow Circus also partners with Hope and the orphanages to train them for work. Several key Hope leaders toured one of the orphanages and learned that it's a lot harder than it looks. Hope Worldwide has also partnered with the Olympic Sports Program to hold sports festivals attended by thousands of children from more than 80 orphanages around Moscow. Shawn and Lena have been so effective in their efforts that they have been frequently recognized by the Moscow city government and the Department of Education for their outstanding results. The leaders of the Moscow church regularly teach the disciples about caring for the poor. As a result, in 2001, Hope Worldwide Moscow volunteers spent 50,000 hours participating in various charitable projects. More than 16,000 children and 1,000 veterans were involved in Hope Worldwide programs.
Last December, Shawn won the Heart of the Year award for the entire country of Russia. only 5 people received this award, including a prominent Russian statesman and a famous Russian actor.
This award is given to people who strengthen trust, understanding, and unity among people of different nations. At the award ceremony, Shawn shared before all the attendees about the incredible volunteers from the Moscow Church of Christ. We congratulate Shawn on demonstrating the heart of God to the world. The Gempels and all the Hope Worldwide staff are deeply humbled and grateful for the sacrifice of time and money by the disciples. God has blessed our simple gifts into a global organization that heals and changes lives every day.
Brothers and sisters, I hope you've been inspired by what Hope Worldwide has accomplished through the power of God in just 10 short years. As in every area of our life, Jesus must be our example. He never tired of meeting people's needs. Whether they were poor, hungry, adulterous, or prideful, Jesus always looked for ways to meet people's needs. I'm thankful to God that the Gempels and the world sector leaders made the decision to lead the church in the area of serving to the poor, thus giving the disciples the opportunity to volunteer their heart and their time. Like many evangelists and women's ministry leaders before them, many disciples are giving up their comfortable homes, their wages, and even their safety for themselves and their families just to serve in other countries. We need to pray for sacrificial hearts, just like the Gumleys, the Timlins, and many others. We need to pray for compassionate hearts, like the Wootens and the Rev. We need to pray and act on giving back to our community, thus creating our own village of hope. God promised the Apostle Paul that he would carry his name to kings and rulers of the land. Through their service to the poor, disciples all over the world are bringing his name to many influential people, drawing them to the church, thus fulfilling the Great Commission to go and make disciples. As disciples, we have a tremendous opportunity to serve in our community during our Global Outreach Day. Granted, it's just for a day, but prayerfully, it will jumpstart your heart to be this way characteristically throughout your lifetime. Brothers and sisters, if there's any group that can bring hope, it's the Church of Christ. Let's be shining examples of hope to a hurting world. God bless.
Soul by soul, tomorrow.